Hello guys, welcome to Macintosh Weekly, and today in this video, I'm going to show how to do a clean install of macOS Sequoia on an unsupported Mac. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And now let's begin. For this guide, I'll be using Mac Mini late 2014 model, which is unsupported since macOS Ventura. Installing macOS Sequoia on an unsupported hardware doesn't mean that you could get everything working. There are certain limitations. To know the limitations, compatibility of your Mac with macOS Sequoia OCLP. Please watch the OCLP 2.0 update video. Before proceeding, make sure to have a proper backup of your device on which clean install is supposed to be done, as all data will erased during the process. Also, it's highly recommended to download and create the macOS Sequoia bootable USB using OCLP on the same Mac on which you intend to do a clean install of macOS Sequoia. This is to avoid a few extra steps and any issues you might encounter during root patching after installation. Now, for installing macOS Sequoia on an unsupported Mac, you'll need OpenCore Patcher and a USB with minimum 16 GB capacity. Now, download the latest version of OpenCore Legacy Patcher from the link given under video description and install it once it gets downloaded. After OpenCore Patcher is installed, click on Close and then open OpenCore Patcher from the Launchpad. Also, make sure that you're connected to the internet, as during the USB creation, OpenCore will fetch the patch over the internet. Now click on Create macOS Installer and then click on Download macOS Installer. After the catalog loads, select macOS Sequoia 15 and then click on Download. After you get this prompt, click on Yes, then select Install macOS Sequoia. Now plug in your USB. Also, make sure to have a backup of your files on the USB, as the USB will be erased. And after the disk appears, click on Search for Disks again, and then select the disk again, and proceed with the prompts. Once the USB installer is ready, you'll be notified. Now you'll need to install OpenCore to the disk, depending on your Mac model. Here, if you're creating the USB from the same unsupported Mac on which the further clean installation is meant to be done, then only click on Yes. If you're creating the USB from any other Mac, then return to the main menu of OpenCore Legacy Patcher, and then click on Settings. Here, under the target model, select the host model identifier of your unsupported Mac on which you'll be performing the clean install. To check the model identifier, open System Information, and under the Hardware Overview, you'll have your model identifier. Now choose the correct model identifier from the drop-down list, and then click on Return. I'm creating the installer USB from the same unsupported Mac on which I'll be doing a clean install, so I won't select any identifier. Now click on Build and install OpenCore. After the OpenCore is built for your Mac, click on Install to Disk option from the prompt, and then select the USB. Then it's EFI partition. After OpenCore has finished installing to disk, click on Reboot option if you have been creating the USB installer from the same device on which a clean install is to be performed. Otherwise, download the OpenCore Patcher package and put it to USB, and plug into the target hardware. While starting or rebooting, hold the Option key and select EFI Boot option, and press Enter key. Now, select the macOS Sequoia installer and press Enter to boot. If you have trouble booting the installer with USB on a T1 or T2 Mac, ensure you've selected No Security under the Secure Boot options and also allowed booting from external or removable media. If you can't boot macOS Sequoia installer, make sure to check out the fix from I button. If you're greeted with macOS Recovery Assistant, select the user you know the password for and proceed with it. Now, if you're greeted with macOS Assistant, quit the Install macOS Assistant. Now select Disk Utility, and then erase the main drive instead of volume with the following parameters. For T1 Mac users, when installing macOS Sequoia on a T1 system, a full disk wipe will remove T1 functionality, touch bar, etc. Therefore, when installing, only wipe the volume containing the operating system. Now click on Install macOS Sequoia and click on Continue. Now, follow the on-screen instructions to install macOS Sequoia. Here, select the disk you created and then click on Continue. Keep in mind that during the installation process, your Mac may restart several times, so don't worry about that. During the installation phase, the OCLP will automatically perform the post-installation silently by patching the root volume so that you don't have to root patch once you enter the desktop. This really makes the system snappy during the setup as the graphics acceleration gets fixed. As you can see, macOS Sequoia setup screen is here. Set up your Mac according to your preference. And finally, macOS Sequoia Desktop is here. In a while, you'll be prompted with an OpenCore Patcher window. However, if you have downloaded and created the macOS Sequoia bootable USB from a different Mac other than the target Mac, it's highly possible that after the installation is completed, a number of functions may not work, such as graphics, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and in some cases, USB ports as well. If you encounter such issues, you'll have to follow another guide, which will be posted very soon on the channel. The guide will be linked on the I button as well as the description. Now, click on OK and it will build OpenCore for your Mac. After the OpenCore is built for your Mac, you'll be prompted with this option. Click on the Install to Disk option, and then from the list of disks, select the drive on which macOS is installed. And after that, click on the EFI partition and enter the password when prompted. After OpenCore has finished installing to disk, click on Reboot and eject the macOS Sequoia installer USB. While restarting, press and hold the Option key and select EFI Boot option and press the Enter key. And now, continue booting to Macintosh HD. After everything is done, verify the root patch. To verify the root patch, open OCLP from the Launchpad and click on Post-Install Root Patch option. If the patches are already installed, the OCLP will not show any applicable patches, and a message stating all applicable patches already installed will appear on the post-install menu. In addition, the OCLP will show when the root volume was patched lastly, along with the OCLP version and date. So, macOS Sequoia has been successfully installed on an unsupported Mac, and everything is working as expected. So that was it. Hope it was useful. Consider like for the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, just comment down below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day ahead.